We matched during lockdown. I was stuck indoors, restless, bored, and Tinder felt less like dating and more like killing time. That's when I found him. His name was Brian, and his profile stood out because it wasn't filled with gym selfies or shirtless mirror shots like most guys. His photos were different black and white street photography, alleyways, dim cafes, strangers waiting in shadows. His bio just said, "I see what most people miss." I found that kind of cool, even poetic. I messaged him first, and he responded fast. He had this calm way of texting, short, thoughtful, deliberate. He told me he was a night photographer, loved capturing people when they didn't know they were being watched. That sounded harmless at first, even artistic. We started talking every day. We never video called. He said he wasn't a fan of being on camera, but it didn't feel weird at the time. We exchanged voice notes instead. His voice was low and steady, kind of soothing in a weird way. Then he started sending me more photos. Some were just night scenes, someone waiting at a bus stop, a woman walking with groceries, a guy inside a laundromat. None of them looked posed. I asked, "Do these people know you're taking their picture?" And he replied, "Some do. Some don't. The best ones don't." I laughed it off. But something about that answer stuck in my gut. I should have blocked him right then. But I didn't. One night he sent me a photo that felt instantly different. It was a woman outside an apartment complex. I zoomed in, thinking it looked oddly familiar. My heart stopped. It was me. I was wearing my headphones, standing on the corner near my building, coat half-zipped, staring off across the street. My face was turned slightly away, but it was unmistakably me. I texted him, "Is this a joke?" He replied, "You looked peaceful." I wanted to capture it. I blocked him immediately. I started shaking. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept the curtains closed for weeks after. I even bought a cheap indoor camera and aimed it at the window, just in case. I deleted Tinder, changed my number, locked everything down. I told my friends what happened. One said maybe it was an old photo, but I knew it wasn't the coat I was wearing and it was brand new. The picture was recent, and I had never told him where I lived. But what really messed me up came later. Out of pure paranoia, I reverse image searched one of his Tinder photos, a guy standing under a neon sign. It wasn't him. It was someone else's photo from a blog post uploaded years ago. Then I checked another photo. Same thing. And another. None of the profile pictures were actually him. All stolen from photography portfolios and art blogs. The man I'd been talking to didn't exist. The voice I'd trusted, the calm words, all of it fake. And I still didn't know who had taken that photo of me. Weeks passed. No new messages. I convinced myself it was over, that blocking him scared him off. Until one night I got a message from an unknown number. No text, just a photo. It was of my bedroom window, taken from the outside. The curtain was open just a bit, and I could see myself in the photo, brushing my hair in front of the mirror. My stomach dropped. The caption said, "Still peaceful." I moved out the next week. I never went back. I matched with him on a quiet Sunday night. His name was Ethan. Nothing flashy, just a couple of casual pictures. One with a dog, one at a cafe, and a short bio that said, "Night owl, book lover. Let's talk about strange things." I liked that. It felt honest. I was bored, recovering from a bad breakup, and maybe a little too open to distraction. He messaged right away. "Rainy nights make people honest. Tell me something real." I smiled and replied, "I eat cereal for dinner more often than I should." He said, "That's not shameful. That's survival." That's how it started. We chatted every night that week. His texts were thoughtful, deep, sometimes random. He didn't ask for selfies. Didn't rush to meet. He asked questions like, "What's your earliest memory?" Or, "If something was haunting you, would you even know?" That one made me pause. I asked what he meant, and he just replied, "Sometimes we don't see what's right beside us." I thought he was quirky. maybe even poetic, but things shifted fast. One night, I mentioned I was making noodles and tea before bed. He replied, "Don't forget the way you always leave the kettle near the sink. It drips." I stared at my phone. That sentence sat there like a brick. I never told him where I lived. I never described my kitchen. And yet, I do leave the kettle by the sink. And yes, it drips, but it's not something anyone would know unless they'd been inside. I texted back, "How do you know that?" He replied, "I just do. I notice things." I didn't reply. That night I couldn't sleep. I checked every lock, every window. Sat in the living room with the lights off, just listening. I stopped texting him. Blocked his number. Deleted Tinder. I even called my landlord and had the locks changed the next day. 2 days later, I stayed at my best friend Amanda's place just to feel safer. When I came back home, everything looked untouched, no signs of anything weird. Until I saw it. A note. It was a small piece of paper, folded once and tucked under my doormat. It said, "We weren't done." No name, no signature, just that one line. I felt sick. I moved it with my shoe and took a picture of it but didn't touch it. I called Amanda. I was shaking. "You think he followed you home?" She asked. "I don't know how he even knew where I lived in the first place." I said, "I never told him. We never even met in person." She told me to report it. I didn't. What could I even say? A guy I never met sent me a creepy text and left a note. So I stayed. For a while. Kept my blinds shut. Bought a door camera. Slept with the light on. Then one night I was watching TV and heard a soft noise outside. A scrape like metal tapping glass. I turned off the screen. Everything went quiet. I slowly walked to the window, heart pounding. I didn't pull the curtain, just stood beside it and listened. Nothing. I sat in the hallway that night, just holding my phone. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I checked the camera footage. There was a gap, like the recording glitched between 1:53 and 1:57. 4 minutes, gone, just static. That was enough. I packed 2 bags and left. Moved across town into a small place above a busy street. Noise became my comfort. I didn't care if it was smaller. I felt safer. I changed my number. Stayed off dating apps. I tried to forget Ethan ever existed. Months passed. Then last week I got a message from an unknown number. No text, just a photo. It was the corner of my new living room, taken from outside the window. And on the table was my kettle, right where I left it. Her name was Lily. At least, that's what her profile said. She only had one photo, just a blurry mirror selfie, where she was sitting on the floor in a black hoodie, her phone covering most of her face. The background looked empty, almost too empty, like a staged room with nothing but the mirror and her. I stared at that picture longer than I should have. Something about it felt familiar, like I had seen it before in a dream or something. I don't know why I swiped right. Maybe it was boredom or curiosity, or the thrill of mystery, but I did, and we matched instantly. Her first message came within seconds. "Want to come over?" No introduction, no small talk. Just that. I replied, joking, "You move fast," and she sent back, "No point waiting if we already know each other." That line made me pause. I didn't know her, at least I didn't think I did. I asked if we had talked before on another app. No answer. Then she messaged again, "You'll recognize it when you see it." I didn't know what that meant, but now I was hooked. There was something about the way she typed, short, vague, like she didn't care if I stayed or left, and somehow that made me want to stay even more. I asked for another photo, but she said, "I don't like pictures." I asked a video call, she ignored it. Then out of nowhere, she sent a location pin. No message. Just a map drop. It was about 30 minutes outside the city, surrounded by forest and back roads. I knew I shouldn't go. Everything about it screamed bad idea, but I went anyway. Curiosity overruled common sense. I drove out Friday night, and the road got darker and quieter the farther I went. The house was old, 2 stories tall, and looked abandoned. Some windows were boarded up, the paint peeled like skin, and the mailbox hung sideways, rusted and forgotten. I parked and just sat there for a moment, questioning everything until my phone buzzed again. It was her. Come in? That was it. I looked around, no lights, no one outside. But the front door was slightly cracked open. I stepped onto the porch, which creaked under my weight, and pushed the door gently. It opened without resistance. Inside it was dead silent. No furniture, no art, no sound. Just layers of dust and this strange cold in the air that didn't match the season. I called out, "Lily?" Nothing. I walked into what looked like a living room, still no sign of life. Then I heard a faint laugh from upstairs. A girl's laugh, soft and short, like someone trying to suppress it. I called out again, "Lily?" But no reply. So I went up the stairs, heart pounding harder with each step, until I reached the hallway. One door was closed at the very end. I walked to it, hesitated, then turned the knob and slowly pushed it open. The room was completely empty, except for a mirror. The same mirror from her Tinder photo. It stood in the far corner. There was no girl, just me and the reflection of the empty room. I stepped closer, confused, unsettled. That's when I saw her. In the reflection, she was there, sitting on the floor in front of the mirror, just like in the photo. Hoodie on, phone in hand. But in the real room, there was no one. Only the reflection. I froze. Her head turned in the mirror, but not in real life. Her phone lowered slowly, and for the first time I saw her face. It wasn't blurry anymore. Her eyes locked with mine, dark, hollow, strange, and then she smiled. That smile hit something deep in my stomach. I bolted. I don't remember getting down the stairs or back into my car. I didn't stop driving until I was back in the city. The next day I checked Tinder. Her profile was gone. Messages gone. Like she never existed. I tried to forget it, move on. Tell myself it was some kind of weird prank or hallucination. But 2 weeks later, I re-downloaded Tinder, yeah, I know. Stupid, and came across a new profile. Different name. Different location. But the same photo. Blurry mirror selfie. Black hoodie. Same empty room. Only this time, I wasn't looking at her in the mirror. She was looking straight at me.